Hello, loves. How are you? Welcome to yet another moon phase report for the new moon in Libra that's happening right now and leading up to tonight around midnight Mountain Time is when we officially have the moon come together with the sun. Basically, this is another heavy-duty odd feeling new moon, and we are going to have these in the same kind of position for the rest of the year. One of the things that I don't know that others are in total agreement with how I see this, but this is something that I've walked and have felt. And when it comes to the void, of course, I don't see it as when the moon makes the last aspect to a planet. I see it as especially the sun and the moon, when they are moving into a new sign and when they're first beginning into a new sign. So the last 3 degrees of a sun or moon journey through a sign, and then the beginning 3 are when I really feel things that don't really feel solved, or they don't really feel like I have an answer, or they don't really feel like they have a settled energy. And I kind of learned that through my own moon mapping and walking that journey of how they felt. And I was curious about the void, of course, because I never really resonated with it, even though I've heard of a lot of people treat it as like gospel, of where they won't do things, they won't, move forward when it's in the void, of course. But for me, it's always felt a lot different when they are shifting into another sign, and made even more so when it's a new moon or a full moon, because there's already so much more potency into the energies of the planets in a direct alignment. And when they're in that 27 to 30 and 1 to 3, I just feel like they don't end up being as wonderful of feeling experience as we anticipate, especially with things being in a new moon. And for the rest of the year, we have each one of our new moons at about the 1st degree of the sign. So my prediction is that a lot of these new moons are going to take more days into and away from the actual hit, to where we start to feel more secure and okay with what new decisions we're making or what new directions we're embarking on. And with this one, since it's in Libra, and Libra is such a sensitive sign in that they are so aware of all of the influences and all of the sides and all of the potentials in every decision being made, so that they can make the correct decision for them. But because they're so sensitive, a lot of people right now are going to be feeling really sensitive. And it's going to be in this kind of polarizing energy. I really felt it come in last night. I feel like it's been building, but I really felt it in the middle of the night. And waking up this morning was kind of the heaviest, strange feeling energy I've really even felt for a while. I haven't even gotten anything done all day because I can't do what I need to do, because this feels so uncomfortable. And what's happening is, because we just left the sign of Virgo, or we're in the process of it with the moon right now, but there's lots of critical, judgmental, polarizing energy of kind of taking sides and making one person right, making one person wrong, really strong energy wanting to stake a claim in each side as being the correct one. And being that there's been a lot of frustration, there's been a lot of short tempers, pissed off, angry over things that normally wouldn't affect you, because that's a really strong bubbling up energy right now. You combine the frustration and the anger with a polarization of energies, and you're going to have a lot of 2 things at once going on in your life. So you can be getting a lot of opposition, and at the same time you'll be getting a lot of love. Or you can notice that, during parts of the day, you are so empowered and so motivated and feel like you can do anything, and then an hour or two later you'll be so filled with doubt and you won't think you have skills at all and you're not good enough or whatever. So everything right now is with two sides of things, and they're both going to be coming at you. And what I do kind of tell you with that polarization is that it's kind of the same when you're having a lot of struggles in your life where things aren't working out, and you will tend to focus more on the negative and on the things that aren't working out. And in this really kind of, it's a lot, we tend to magnetize to those things. We see what's wrong. And what you really need to do is kind of shift that perspective and start kind of giving some attention and some gratitude to things that are working out. It's always so much more important to put the attention on the things that are working out and on the love and on the positive, instead of really delving into the why everything's messed up, why everything's wrong, what's wrong with that person. And since this is in Libra, this does tend to bring us a lot of obstacles with others. So you can expect that you're having a lot of friction with others. I wrote all about this in the written horoscopes, because what's really happening is there's lots of lashing. Or a better way to put it is that a lot of people have been holding back for too long with what they've needed to say, with what they were really feeling, with what was really going on beneath the surface that they either did not want to confront, did not want to deal with, did not want to acknowledge, wanted to more make nice, not make a stink. And right now with these energies, we can't not stay quiet. You know, you really are having to come forward and clear the air in any kind of discordant situation that's going on in your life. So anywhere that you have not been feeling in harmony with people, it's going to come to the surface right now. And it's a good thing. It needs to come to the surface. We really can't keep these things on the down low and keep them hidden, because they're always going to be felt anyway. You know, we are becoming, and I'm going to talk about this in the next reading, but we're becoming so much more psychic. We're finally at a point in history where we give ourselves permission to listen to our intuition and to honor that there's truth in the messages coming through our body and coming from within. And we have been conditioned, you know, to not believe in that stuff and to only believe what you see. And also where people have been taught that if you keep it on the inside, it doesn't matter. What matters is what you show on the surface. And now it's created this world of all this kind of messed up energy, because sensitive people feel things, but then they end up kind of almost driving themselves crazy because it's not necessarily showing in a visual, you know, hands-on way. So you're not seeing something, but you feel something. So right now, a lot of those things that are happening with people where they have been feeling something, they are being called to come forward and just state what they're feeling. It's best to just get to the bottom of it, if you know, and to bring it to the surface, to really examine what's going on. Mostly because another aspect of what is happening with everybody is that we are, you know, we're combining more closely with things that support and empower us. So we're not so much taking things that aren't really a match to us. Everything is really about, how does this feel to me? How does this make me feel? You know, we're really looking at friendships. Are we on the same page? Is this an empowering relationship, or is it a disempowering relationship? And with that, there's a lot of room for people to be falling away, things to be falling away, a really strong shedding of layers of who we have thought we are, kind of in relation to what we have around us. You know, it makes me think too of like in high school. Well, I was never this way because I didn't like anybody, but except for my couple friends. But there still was more of a thing of wanting to be popular and wanting to have everybody like you and wanting to have as many friends as you can. And that's not really what our soul is going for anymore. You know, when I first started Aquarius Nation and brought it to the forefront, I did this video. It was like 4 or 5 years ago, and I never did post it because I have never been really good at these videos. I don't think that these are really my forte, but I'm at least getting a lot better than I used to. And I watched this one because I thought, oh, I should share it, and then I was like, no, I can't, that's horrible. But I was talking back then about, you know, something that's really on our minds right now, about even if we only have one friend who really has our back, that's perfect. You know, we don't really want to be meshing our energies, these invisible corded connections with others, when there isn't a true love and honoring and supporting and trusting and having your back kind of energy there. And it's what we've been doing, though, because we just think, oh, I want everybody to like me. I want a whole bunch of friends. If they like me, I'll like me. And we're really kind of examining how when you truly love and honor who you are, you're not really concerned with how much of things you have around you. Even like you can have a simple little dumpy little house and it's great because you have paradise inside. You know, paradise inside is I've never said that before and it makes so much sense, but that's where you love yourself and you're happy within, so you're not needing these things outside of you to reinforce who you are. You know, when you're not loving yourself, you need all this love outside of yourself to validate that, yes, I'm a loving person. Yes, I deserve to be loved. But in fact, when you love yourself, you're not looking outside for that thing. You don't need the fancy house. You don't need the fancy car. You don't need all these superficial fancy things. And you certainly don't need a lot of people taking up your space thinking that, oh, I'm popular because all these people like me, or I'm popular because I have all these friends, or I'm acceptable because I have all these people. So I really believe that we are supposed to have more defined and smaller groups of people that we do take into our immediate environment and our immediate closed circuit life. There's a lot of layers of having other people outside of this area, but we don't really have to sacrifice who we are or compromise who we are because we have these feelings that more means more. You know, it's kind of like less that is quality means the most. And it's a big thing on our mind right now, and because we're so sensitive and ultra sensitive with a new moon in the 1st degree of Libra, you know, so very sensitive and not really having an answer. So in being sensitive, we are more feeling what's going on around us. And in feeling what's going on around us, we're more tuning into what feels harmonious and what feels disharmonious and what feels neutral, because there's actually 3 energies. I'm talking about this in the full moon reading in 2 weeks, but there's different kinds of energies, and you know, I'll just go into it here now. But the harmonious, you know, that's the one that's so obvious. That's the one that you get together, you're around people, and they just empower you. You know, they make you feel good. You don't have to compromise, change. You're perfect just the way you are around those kind of people. And then disharmonious is where there's just something not right, and maybe you don't completely share who you are, maybe you don't completely take your guards down, maybe you make yourself smaller, and maybe you just feel like something doesn't feel like harmony. I mean, it's the same in romantic relationships. It's the same where you're like, oh my gosh, I connect with this person so much, and someone else where you're like, I don't have anything in common with that person, you know? And so the disharmonious one, that's the one that we're feeling larger right now. We're really being shown where we're at, like crossroads, or just with a square in a circle situation where it's just not a fit. It just doesn't feel great. And then the one that's most common, and where you have this most with the general public and a lot of people in your life, is a neutral one, where it's not necessarily that they empower you beyond belief or feel wonderful to be around, but they certainly don't feel bad to be around. So you can be around them. But it's just kind of a neutral thing. It just kind of happens naturally. It's just kind of those are usually just a smoother, mellower kind of coming together. And that's a good thing, you know? So neutral and harmonious are wonderful. But the disharmonious is where, you know, a lot of people have this even with your jobs. Like the moment you walk in them, you're like, this just doesn't feel good to me. This energy, it doesn't work with me. It makes me want to crawl out of my skin. You know, it can be if you're in a neighborhood that's just not right for you. But the disharmonious is because we're trying to balance these energies and really kind of move towards something that's much more healthier. We're really feeling these right now. And that's why you can expect to kind of be a bit of a bitch or sassy pants, kind of just speaking up where you wouldn't before. And because we don't really have the tools to be as mature as we'd like, to be as healed as we'd like, and because this tends to be things that we've kept buried for a while, we all will kind of fall prey to being a little irrational in trying to get our messages across, or trying to share what we're really feeling. So it's always a sign that you have been holding back too much when you do kind of bust out with this in a really extreme and intense way. But we always have to remember that we're human, we're all learning, and the more discordant the way it works out, the more you actually learn from it, because it feels uncomfortable to you afterwards. You're like, I don't really feel good showing my ass like that. I don't really feel good being that much of a baby and trying to state my, you know, position of where I'm coming from, or to draw the boundaries in the line, because boundaries is a big thing right now, where we're saying, no, you can't cross that with me. And yes, you feel harmonious, I'll take you, you can come closer with this, but no, I need you at arm's length, I need you out here, something's going on. So it's a really big kind of lesson opportunity for all of us right now, and what's going to end up coming out of this is a kind of improvements in the way you learn how to communicate and deal with others, because we're always having to learn that one. You know, not many of us are that good at really expressing ourselves when we're hurt, or when we've been disappointed, or when we've been betrayed, or when we feel like we can't trust someone. So we tend to be over the top with trying to express this stuff. And with each one that we do, and with each situation that we reenact that is not really healthy and not constructive and also not honoring of all parties, with each one of these we actually learn more how to better do this. So it's okay, and it's actually part of the plan to have these kind of really immature situations with others, because each one of them opens you more to how you want to do it better and how you want to learn from it. Basically, you know, with this energy right now, it's about creating peace. But there is not the need for peace if there was not discord, you know. So it's a part of the two sides of this puzzle, of this coin. But neither one is to be considered a negative or a positive, because they each contribute to each other. So it's a confusing time right now, and because people are so feeling lashy and angry, there's lots of done with it energy, and there's lots of closing the door on things. There's lots of being just so agitated that you're doing things that you're actually going to regret later, because it's just getting mad, saying things you don't really mean, doing things you don't really mean. Really feeling strong reactions from people where you're just like, I hate you, I don't like you. And I imagine too that I'll get lots of unlikes on this video, because a lot of people now are voting on things, and they're voting on how you are triggering them. And I think everyone will probably get lots of unlikes right now on their things, because people are just more like, unsubscribe, unlike, I don't da 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 da, you know, and it's okay. You know, it's that thing where we're stating our boundaries, but we're really doing it in kind of childish and hateful ways. But if you need to close the door on something, that's okay. You know, we're not to judge this stuff, because we have Virgo with this. There's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of the creating of the polarization of going one side or the other, and that's how we're learning. So we always have to remember not to be so harsh with that. I actually got so many people sending me emails this morning. I woke up already not feeling good at all, and then I got like bombarded with so many emails. They're still continuing probably, but a lot of people were feeling this opposition and love. And this one person even told me how, like, on her page she got 4 unlikes today, and I was like, how do you even know that you got unlikes? And on her Facebook page, and I was like, how do you even know? And then she told me that they actually show that, and I'm like, why would they show that? Like, who needs to know that? How constructive is that? Because what can you do about it first, or in the first place? You can't help how somebody else is going to feel. And if they don't resonate with you, at least you know, so cool, we don't resonate, bye. I don't have to have you in my circle and knowing you're actually kind of hating and resenting me, But then she was saying also, you can see where people will say that they don't want to follow your post anymore, they don't want to follow your page anymore, and I was just like, I don't even need to know that, because I'm not even going to go and look in that, but you can find that out. But it made me think, and she said it's even called negative something, like negative data or negative feedback. And I was like, why? How does that help you though? Like, that's where sometimes we really have to not go there with kind of putting so much attention into the dark and into what's not working and into negative feedback. That's why I said to her, how is that going to help you though? Except piss you off and make you try to figure out who it is and make you going through your list. So I was like, stop looking at that. That's not constructive. Realize what is, constructive in your life and go towards that. What is negative, and leave that. And a perfect example of that is with, I had this person who is on YouTube, and I had randomly found him because I don't ever do anything on YouTube. I'm not really a YouTube fan. And he annoyed me so much. He pushed every button in my body. I'm not even going to describe him because you'll figure it out, but I was just, ugh. And then I knew, because I had such a strong reaction, and I think I even then tried again to watch him, but it was more just like, I felt like such resentment and such like, oh my gosh. And I had such a negative reaction in my body that I was like, whoa, I got to step away from this person, because this is like, he pushes every button in my body. Because we're always triggered by someone. We all have enemies, and we all have people who love us more than anything in the world, but we all have enemies. We all have people who cannot stand us, whose skin crawls at the thought of us, at the sound of our voice, at the visual of us, and that's how I was with this person. And so I walked away. And then never even thought about it again, because I knew, well, if I stick around, I'm just going to be building this resentment. I'm going to be watching him with like, you're such a, and. And personally, I don't want anybody watching me who's doing that. Please leave. If I push your buttons, I'm always saying that. If I push your buttons, leave. Why would you even add to the frustration and the anger and the resentment of who somebody is? Like, leave. So anyway, what had happened was, I've had other people come to me and talk about him and ask me what I think of him. And the most recent time it happened, I had shifted so much because I pulled away, that I was able to then watch him and kind of see him as kind of funny. I didn't have any of the negative stuff anymore. None of the feelings that came up in the first place came up. And I was actually kind of defending him to this person who was saying everything that I had said months or a year or however long ago it was. So I thought it was kind of funny. But that's where, you know, if we have that negative charge with someone, why are we going to immerse ourselves more in them? You know, we really have to just be like, you annoy me, I'm going to step out. And that's what I kind of, you know, my destiny is called provoking for spirit. I'm not supposed to have everybody love me. I'm supposed to push a lot of people's buttons, actually. And a lot of those people, I push and move them to do the best things that they've never thought that they could do. But a lot of them, too, on the other side of the coin, I push them to, like, have them just want to hate me and to be competitive with me and to want me to fail. And, you know, and this is kind of something I know that that's who I'm here to be, so I'm kind of cooler with it, and I honor that. But at the same time, I'm not going to focus on all the ones who want to not like me and who want to see me fail and who want to ruin me or whatever. And I'm instead going to look to the ones who appreciate what I'm doing and who appreciate who I am and who appreciate what I am offering as my gift. So we all have to remember that, because there's something addictive in us that wants to go to that which pushes our buttons. Like, let me watch that person again and feel how much I just can't stand her or whatever. And we really shouldn't do that. We have to let go of that hate vibration. The hate vibration is keeping things so polarized, but it's also damaging our manifesting abilities. I don't really see anybody soaring in the world who is holding on to hatred for others or resentment with others or that kind of thing. So it's best to just kind of take the high road, accept the different strokes for different folks. You know, it's like we go into the grocery store and we don't all buy the same brands. If we did, there would be one brand for each item. So it's acknowledging that we all like these towns, you know, even like where I live, everybody loves Santa Fe, New Mexico, you know, and I love it too, but I'm a Pisces and I'm like a mermaid at 7,000 feet in the desert, you know, so I'm always kind of wanting water. I'm always complaining about water. I'm always getting mad at weather.com because they never predict the rain correctly, you know. So I'm always like, but I need water, but I need sea level, but I need sea level, you know. But not everybody else feels that way. Most people who live here think that we are in the bomb diggity place on the whole planet. And I'm like, oh, I need something new though. I need something water. This is fine for part of the time, but it doesn't completely work with my with me. And, you know, we all don't wear the same clothes. We all don't want to date the same type of people. We don't all want to drive the same kind of car. We don't all want to live in the same kind of house. So we don't all buy the same products at the grocery store. So we have to just really honor that different strokes for different folks, but it doesn't mean one person has to be right and one person has to be wrong. And this is what has so been ingrained in us with the sports teams, with, you know, our country over everybody else. And we really just have to kind of step back from that war aspect of I'm right and you're wrong, and really just kind of respect and honor that we're all coming from some perspective that's very valid to each and every one of us. And it's not really us to, you know, I've even been more like supporting Republican, which I'm so not into the political world at all. I think they're all crazy. But just to like research a different side. You know, my family is so democratic. They would like have a heart attack over me ever saying anything pro-Republican, which I'm really not. I'm just kidding. But still, there's points of everything that is valid. You know, there's points in every side that are valid, and we have to kind of take in that complete picture of not so much needing to be right, needing to put others down, needing to be better, needing to be best. You're a loser. Because truth be told, if we really had peace in our heart, and if we really did the walk in another person's shoes thought with everything that we're dealing with, we would be a lot different in how we judge things or how we hold steady to a certain opinion, because we all come from something that had us choosing what we're choosing now. But it's not really our right to judge others and to put them down because they've chosen this, because they're doing that path, because they're going in this direction. So that's kind of going on right now. And like, you know, the main thing is just look away at the discord, the opposition, the negative kind of things, and just really focus on the good. If you want to get out of this job that is so oppressive to you, you have to love it first. If you want to get out of a relationship that you can tell that you've grown out of and you don't really have anything in common, you have to love it first. You have to see how it benefited you. You have to see the perks and the good things that it brought into your life, even if it is just something of having you expect more and to upgrade and to demand something better. Because a lot of the stuff that is moving us right now is coming from this core, basic drive of demanding something better and not accepting the bottom of the barrel kind of things, or accepting cheap things. You know, really like, I want nice things. I want a nice house. I want a nice job. I want friends who feel nice, you know. So everything is upgrading right now, and really kind of putting us into a higher position. We also have the most amazing Jupiter and Uranus trine that is going on with this new moon at the 1 degree Libra. And what's really wonderful about this is that it's going to be a process that's going to be reenacted through things showing up in our lives through the middle of next year. So around June, we are going to start to see more of what this is going to create in our life. But it's going to be things that are going to take us, as I wrote about in the written horoscopes, like a grasshopper leap into something new. So it's a dramatic jump. It's a dramatic leap. It's a dramatic, you know, this can even be something where so many people on a collective way are going to be awakening more to the truth of things, awakening to where they've been putting their energy into things that are actually manifesting more of that and harming them. So there's a lot of awakening energy to this, but it's going to be us like really going in new directions that kind of catapult us into a whole new way of life, a whole new relationship, a whole new way of living. One of the things with me is I'm going to be going to Italy to try it out for a couple months to see if I want to live there. I've really been feeling called there because that's where my family's from, and I just feel a really deep resonance with Italian people. I love people who are so passionate with their emotions and real and true, and where you don't really take it personally. You know, one of my dear friends here has the same kind of personality, and I think she's Italian too, but she's just so like da 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 da, and it's like I don't take it personally, you know. It's like she's just having a strong emotion about something. She's just having a strong reaction about something, and I like that in people. I like the keeping it real, being, you know, just going, you know, like a, you know, one thing that's really healthy for us, it's actually what's happening a lot, is that like if you imagine a boiling pot, you know, when it's boiling and all the bubbles and they're going over the edge, and then when you just turn it off, it then kind of starts to settle down really quickly, actually. And that's where sometimes we need to just blow off steam like that. Sometimes we need to just be over the top in crazy land reactions. And then when we do, it's like that flame then is taken off, and then we're like, oh, okay, da 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 da, you know, and then the rationality of it all kind of seeps back into you. But it's kind of okay to be extreme like that. It seems to really move things, but it seems to me that it moves you back to clarity and, you know, having more common sense about what's going on, you know. So, but an example of this energy is me being like, I want to move to Europe before I moved to New Zealand, because you know, not that I just want to move a couple states over, but I want to go to a whole new country. So that's where the leaps that we're wanting to make can be those kind of things where even within our job, you know, maybe we've been doing a good thing and it's been working out, but we're just like, I want to go to this impossible level that nobody does and nobody thinks is possible. And we're kind of thinking that right now. And that's what you should be thinking, just taking huge leaps into new areas, or new, like, you know, not just going up one step, but going up 20, you know, just like, and I'm going to do it. And there's can be a really strong faith inside of you that is really telling you that you can do it. And that's what's cool about right now, is because you're like, I can do this. There's a really strong energy with believing in yourself, and kind of like leaping into something that does not have a safety net, and which would give other generations a lot of fear of like, oh, you can't, how would you do that? I remember even like when I would, because I've always moved to places where I don't know anybody else, and I never have things like, I don't go with a car or a job, or even like more than $200. Like when I moved to San Francisco, I think I maybe had $100. And you know, Santa Fe too, I didn't have a car, I didn't know anybody. I'd never been here. This was not on my radar at all. I was just sent here. But I like to leap like that, because it's like, if I feel it in my gut, I'm going to do it. I have no fear if I feel it in my gut. And that's what we're kind of feeling. We just, you know, inside, we're just like, I can do this. I think it's going to be a good thing. And that's what is happening. And that's what's going to be building and building and building, is this deep connection with your gut, and this deep connection with your intuition, and this deep connection that is telling you, I can do this. And I don't care if there's no safety net, and I don't care if nobody in my family or nobody around me has ever done this. I just feel like this is going to work out for me, and I feel like this is a good move. So whatever is kind of going on with you like that is something that you are to pursue. And as the months go on into next year, it's going to be getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and there's going to be levels of how it comes together. So there's a lot more to be revealed with that. So definitely look for the middle of next year for the signs that tell you you're totally right on with what you want to do. Some people will be leaping now, and then each consecutive, because around March and then June are where you're going to see the movements. So, you know, whether we don't leap till June or whether we leap now is all what our gut's going to tell us to do. Our intuitions are going to guide us fully on that. But we're going to see it in levels of what people are changing and doing. And some of the first ones now are like, I'm leaping now. And then that could even be, I just saw fire signs doing that. Maybe fire signs are going first. But then all of us will kind of be feeling like in a really different place in our life come, you know, especially a year from now. We're just going to be like, oh my gosh, and do you remember those decisions I made now? I had a lot of that with my Italy plans. I just so saw, like, because it came to me kind of out of the blue. I've thought of it. I thought about Italy and Greece. And but it was like several weeks ago that it just, I stopped everything to go look for farmhouses to rent. And I was like, that's so wild. But I also got this really strong feeling that was like, oh my gosh, these moments right now are going to be the changing, life-changing things that bring all this other stuff into my life later. And I was like, I can just feel that years from now I'm going to be looking back at this time right now when I decided to go look at farmhouses in Italy. And it was just this strong, like, it was like this deja vu feeling where I was in the future looking back, you know. And it was like, back then I was living in Santa Fe, I had no clue I would ever even leave, and then I end up doing this. And so definitely kind of look for those things showing up. They're trying to come to your awareness through your intuition and through synchronicity. So lining things up. I remember after I did that, within hours, I was watching this movie and they were going to Italy to do these art classes. And then it was just, that's all you, and then the art classes in Italy, and Italy, and Italy, Italy. I was like, oh my God, it's just so funny. So, and something else I think the next day showed up like that too, where it was like, see, you need to go pursue this. You need to get to the old country. Isn't that what they call it? So yes, okay, I think I'm going to stop. You have a beautiful new moon. I'll have the link down below for the horoscopes. And yes, sorry I was not here for the full moon in Pisces. I did write some really kick-ass horoscopes there that you can still go read. I kind of realized that videos are not my forte, and I think all of us are more kind of going towards what we are best at. And I think I'm better at writing than I am at doing videos. So I'm going to manage my time that way, and if I have time to do the videos, like now I did, so I'm of course going to do them, but I'm not going to stress myself out if I can't, because at least if I'm doing the written ones, I feel like I've done my job. Okay? Alright, so if I'm not here, don't get mad at me, and if I am here, celebrate me. Okay, alright, you have a beautiful new moon. I will see you in 2 weeks, maybe. I will definitely have the written ones for you though, so we know that's going to